Hi guys, welcome back to the channel. So glad you're here. If you haven't already, please like and subscribe. That would be fabulous. We are doing a continuation of my last video, which was the skeleton doll. There was so many awesome comments and wonderful suggestions that we just have to do it. So here we go. You guys got me thinking. The reason why we're doing a continuation is because of your comments. A few of you made a couple comments, okay, and they got me thinking, and that's a dangerous thing. All I could think about was I was looking at my doll sitting on my fireplace mantle, and it was aggravating the snot out of me because I was thinking about all of the other possibilities there were now. So, because of that, I am doing more to her. And of course, I have to share it with you guys. I mean, yeah, I have to. Remember how I told you I wasn't really happy with the stark white skeleton, but then once I put all of the brown paint on there, I wasn't really happy with that either. So my compromise now is I took a little bit of acetone nail polish remover and a little bit on a Q-tip, just rubbing off the majority of the brown paint on the larger portions of the skeleton, which once I'm finished with it, you'll see the difference, but I am much happier with it this way. Much, much happier, which is a good thing. Some of the comments, this one says, if I had her, I'd probably add a tattered tutu with some lace and maybe a few dead flies. This one, lace skirt, more of the skeleton, maybe painting the roses in her hair black. I think on this one it's different. It says something in the womb area, more feminine, like maybe a moth rub-on tattoo. But this one also says a mention of black and orange and the taffeta ribbon gown, gluing it around her waist, but still having the skeleton exposed. So, we are making a skirt. I'm going to be using crepe paper as usual. This is the stuff that I didn't pre-make it myself. Okay, I can't tell you I did that because I didn't do it. I bought it like this because I'm too darn lazy to do it myself. So I bought this pre-sewn ribbon. It's all nice and ruffled for me. And then I just kind of fold it right along that seam to give it more floof. I don't know what else you call it, but I'm going to give it more floof. You guys could actually take this crepe paper and ruffle it yourself. It's not hard, but it's just time consuming. And I ain't about that. So, this is kind of, I don't know. You can do it this way if you want to. Or you can pre-make it and then put it on the doll. But I did it this way. I started from the top initially, from the very beginning. And that was a big mistake. So I had to rip it off and start all over again. But I just basically attached it to the front legs. And then I'm not attaching it to the body on the back. Attaching it to itself. And, you know, making it larger at the bottom and going smaller as I go up. And it's just a monotonous process, you know, but the end result is fabulous. Like I said, you can pre-make it and then just put it on the doll. But, you know, I like to do things as complicated as possible. It just seems to work out that way. I don't know what it is. But, you know, I think about these things after the fact. You know, that's how I roll. If you got sewing skills and you can make a skirt, then more power to you. But I've got skills of, you know, maybe patching a hole in a shirt or something. Maybe, you know, repairing a seam, but that's about it. That's about it. But all you're going to do, if you follow my kooky instructions, is once you've glued the first layer onto the legs, then you're going to take your second one and just kind of stagger it up and glue it to paper to paper. And then flip her over on her back and glue paper to paper. Now, as you get higher up and you're not on the legs anymore, then you can glue onto the wood again, which makes it a little bit easier. But for the plain fact that I'm going to have her in a sitting position, I made her skirt kind of loose, you know, where there was a little bit of excess, so that she could have movement. I don't know if you guys are understanding what I'm saying. As you can all tell, I'm very new to this DIY stuff. Maybe one of these days I will crack the code on these DIYs, but in the meantime, you're going to have to put up with my shenanigans. I can't help you out at this point, maybe in the future. If you have any questions, I will be more than happy to answer them if you put them in the comment section, because I will probably be more enlightened after the fact that I've done the project. You know, not while I'm actually doing it on camera. But per suggestion, we are doing a paint job on that blue ribbon. I'm using black acrylic paint, and it's bleeding through. So you're going to have to do definitely a couple coats. And because I'm half blind, you know, don't have a steady hand, I had to go back over and fix my boo-boos with some more of that acetone nail polish remover on a Q-tip, and it seemed to work really well. With the roses, I decided to use a dark brown acrylic paint so that I could accentuate the petals, because it would go down into the crevices. And once that dried, then I put on just a stark white acrylic over top of that, kind of rubbed it off so that you could see the brown in the cracks and crevices, and then kind of touched it up a little bit more again with the white paint. Gotcha. I hope I scared you. Anyways, I love me some Halloween. I love anything spooky. Horror movies are just my jam. I love them. And I love true crime and all of that. So if you like that kind of stuff too, then we are besties. I'm telling you. That's how I am. I just love it. And I don't have anybody else in my house that does like that kind of stuff. My husband puts up with me. That's about it. But this is basically just taking a piece of taffeta ribbon and tying it around the waist and tying it like you would tie your shoes, cinching it down to make it the proper size for her skirt, and then cutting the excess off with a pair of my new fantastic scissors that I got from a subscriber, Lori Scott. Thank you so much. I found a surprise in my P.O. box, and it had some useful stuff, plus a beautiful spooky necklace and some witches' hats that I used on some of my home projects. But next, we are going to be putting a little itty-bitty spider right on the sternum of her rib cage. I thought that would kind of push it to where it was more on the Halloween side, more, the spooky side. And it kind of went right with that rib cage. The legs, I don't know, it just seemed like it was perfect for it. Now, originally we had the skeleton face as a mask. I had that elastic piece on there and shaped it to fit her face. But I was thinking more along the lines of a masquerade mask. What do you guys think? I'm thinking that's going to be a cool look for her because, she's going to be going to the ball, possibly, meeting her man. So I'm taking a Q-tip, one of the ones we just used to clean up my boo-boos, and cutting the swabs off the ends. And I'm going to be using that stick portion of it to make the handle of her mask. Just a dab of glue will do ya. And just put it in there and hold it in place for a few seconds and you're done. But if you're me, you're not done because you're never satisfied. I want it to be more fancy. So what I did was took a piece of that crepe paper, a couple pieces, in a rectangular shape, and put them right up against each other and made some cuts in there to make some kind of streamer. I guess that's what you call it. And I'm going to glue it to the back of this because I want it to be matchy-matchy and kind of, I don't know what else you call it. But, fancier, look more like, festive. So I've glued it to the back of there, but of course it's going to be a little bit too long. So I'm going to take my handy dandy new scissors and I'm going to cut them down a little bit, make them a little shorter, and it will match her dress perfectly. Now, I'm not happy because the fact, of course, I'm not happy. I'm never happy with this kind of stuff. I always want to critique myself. But I'm not happy with not having any towards the front. So I'm going to put a dab of glue underneath of his chin. And a few of the little niblets that I have left over from cutting the other ones shorter, I'm taking those and pushing them into that glue in the front to make it so where it's all the way around. So, what's your opinion? Do you like the mask that goes over her face better, or do you like this idea better? Let me know in the comment section. Yes, I ripped her hand off. I wanted her other hand to be in the position it's in, but I didn't want them in the same position. So I ripped the hand off and I'm re-gluing it back on in a slightly different position. And I actually did the same thing with the foot. Feet, I should say. I took one foot off and put it in kind of more of a pointing down position and the other one straight out. That's it. We're done. So let me know what you think. I'm showing you the very beginning with what we started out with. And then to our fantastic spooky skeleton doll.